fact is the Bible. Uh, Pretty sure many of you know what a Bible is. Maybe some of you have a Bible. The Bible is very important because it teaches us, well, first of all, it's a very wise book, or books, I should say. It has 66 books, 4 Gospels. The Word of God can mostly be heard everywhere you go, even in music. For example, Pop Smoke, he uses Like a Thief in the Night, which is in the Bible. Same with Kendrick Lamar, he uses You Reap What You Sow, which is probably the most common verse you'll hear. And it can also be heard in movies, and all that stuff. Many people might question, how can the Bible be so important? It has many benefits and a ton of relevance to us humans. I say that because there are many of us humans that the Bible either encourages us to do, like we do things that it's either good or bad. And in the Bible, it either encourages us to do that or stray away from it. When I was younger, there were many things that I used to do and say, and I thought it was okay. Until I went to my parents and they eventually told me, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, because it's actually worse than you think. And I began to get curious of, like, where's she getting this from? Like, how can I know what she's saying is true? And so eventually I dug deep and I found out there's something called the Bible. And I began reading it, and the first time I read it, I was pretty amazed of what was in there. There was so much wisdom and so much joy that was put into words, and I was flabbergasted. I began doing a small Bible study group because I sometimes didn't understand what they were talking about. So I gathered a few people and we all read the Word together. And not only did that bring us closer as a group, but also gave me a deeper meaning and understanding to what the Bible is talking about, the context of it. After that, I noticed a rapid growth in myself. I noticed myself being more joyful, more, confident, and I was happy that I found a purpose in my life. And like I said, ultimately it made me a better person, and those around me were better people because of the Word. And that was just from simply reading the Word and doing what it taught us to do. Once I read the Bible quite a bit, I realized how well it's known. Even if people don't read it, it exists regardless if they believe it's true or not. The Bible has been passed down from generation to generation. For example, the first few Bibles were in Hebrew and Aramaic, and then along the way it was Greek, and so on and so forth. And it's so good and so full of wisdom that it's, like I said, passed down from generation to generation. Actually, I have a Bible that was passed down to me from my girlfriend's grandmother that was her mother's and then her mother's. So it's a pretty old Bible, and it's on the verge of falling to pieces, but we don't want to, touch it anymore because it's about to disintegrate. But even if people don't think, when they read the Word, they're like, oh no, it's not going to help me. You're going to see something and you're like, wow, that applies to my life. And the more you read it, the more you realize a lot of things in the Bible apply to your life. And it's crucial to read it even if you don't believe in what it says. And I believe that many people should start reading the Word, because on top of that, people who read the Word are 30% less likely to struggle from loneliness. people who read the word are 32% less likely to be angry or less angrier. And same goes with bitterness and drunkenness or alcoholism. About 40% of people are less likely to do those things because of the Bible. And I think that's, good for them, right? Because, and that's why it's so important to me and my family, because it has brought my family and I closer and closer each time we read it. Thank you.